Something 8 feet long is moving beneath the ferns. Not a snake, not a crocodile. Its armored body bends in dozens of sections, and the wave of legs pushes it through the wet forest floor. Every step scratches the mud. Every plate catches the dim green light. This is Arthropleura, the largest land arthropod ever known, a prehistoric centipede-like giant that crawled across Earth more than 300 million years ago, long before the first dinosaur existed. And the most disturbing part is not how big it became. It is how perfectly this world was built for creatures like it. The air is warm, thick, and heavy with moisture. There are no flowering plants, no grass, no birds. Towering relatives of club mosses rise like wooden pillars. Giant horsetails crowd black water. Fern-like plants overlap above pools where dead vegetation sinks without fully decaying. The ground gives under every step, soft with rot. Somewhere in that darkness, something broad is dragging itself through the leaves. You hear it before you see it. A dry, repeating scrape. Dozens of tiny impacts blending into one slow, mechanical rustle. The branches near the ground begin to move. At first, the shape looks like a fallen log. Then, the log flexes. Arthropleura slides into view. Its body is low and wide, covered in overlapping armored plates. The largest individuals may have stretched beyond 2.5 meters, roughly the length of a small car, with a body more than half a meter across. It did not have 1,000 legs, but it had enough to create a rippling motion underneath, each pair lifting and planting in sequence. But here is the first mystery. For more than a century, scientists knew the giant body far better than the face. Pieces of armor, broken segments, and enormous trackways survived, yet the head seemed to vanish. What was hiding at the front? And did it look more like a peaceful millipede or a hunting centipede? We will come back to that, because the answer made Arthropleura even stranger. To understand how such a creature existed, enter the Carboniferous period, hundreds of millions of years before Tyrannosaurus rex. Vast tropical wetlands spread across parts of what are now Europe and North America. Plants grew, died, sank into stagnant water, and were buried. Over time, those swamps helped form coal. The atmosphere was different too. Oxygen levels rose far above today's level during parts of the Carboniferous. For arthropods, that mattered. Insects and their relatives do not breathe with lungs like ours. Many move oxygen through specialized structures, and richer air can make it easier for larger bodies to receive what they need. That may have helped create giant flying insects, huge crawling invertebrates, and Arthropleura towering over them all. But oxygen alone does not solve the puzzle. Some of the oldest giant Arthropleura fossils come from a time when oxygen may not yet have reached its famous peak. Its size probably came from several advantages working together: abundant food, warm environments, fewer large land vertebrates competing for space, and a body design that worked remarkably well. This ecosystem had room for a giant armored crawler. Now picture its movement. The forest floor trembles softly as its weight passes over waterlogged soil. Mud squeezes between its legs. Its plates shift with faint clicks. The animal does not need to sprint. There are no wolves, big cats, or dinosaurs. Early amphibians exist, but the familiar predators of later ages have not arrived. Arthropleura moves like a living tank through a landscape still experimenting with life on land.
Its tracks confirm that journey. Fossil trackways preserve parallel rows of footprints and a central drag mark. Some trails are astonishingly wide. They cross ancient surfaces like tire marks left by a machine that should not have existed. A body can decay, but one trip through wet sediment can survive for hundreds of millions of years. And that brings us to the second mystery. What did this giant eat? For years, Arthropleura was portrayed as a nightmare predator, an enormous centipede capable of seizing anything small enough to catch. It is an irresistible image, a many-legged hunter bursting from the ferns. But the evidence points in a less violent and somehow more unsettling direction. This creature may not have needed to hunt at all. New fossils finally revealed the long-missing head. Scans of juvenile specimens showed a bizarre mix of features. The body carried millipede-like traits, including 2 pairs of legs associated with many body units. Yet the head also had more centipede-like characteristics. It had strong mandibles, rounded antennae, and stalked eyes that made the animal appear almost alien. Arthropleura was not simply a giant version of any modern species. It belonged to an ancient branch combining features now separated among different groups. Despite that terrifying face, researchers have interpreted its mouthparts as better suited for feeding on decaying plant material than tearing apart large prey. Arthropleura was likely a detritivore, consuming dead vegetation and organic debris. The largest known land arthropod may have spent its life processing rot. Think about that. The horror was not a super predator chasing victims through the forest. It was a silent recycler, armored like a war machine, following decay. It pushed through wet fronds and fed where plants had collapsed into darkness. Its role was ordinary. Its scale was not. Its exact diet is still uncertain. Fossils rarely preserve a complete meal. Arthropleura may have eaten soft plants, fungi, and decomposing material. It might even have taken small animals occasionally. But there is no strong evidence that it was the aggressive giant centipede popular culture loves to create. That does not make an encounter feel safer. A creature does not need venom or hunting claws to terrify you. Size is enough. Armor is enough. The sound of dozens of legs approaching through leaves is enough. A modern millipede curling in your hand is harmless. Scale it up until its body is longer than a bed, wider than your chest, and heavy enough to press deep tracks into mud. Now place it in a forest with weak daylight and no clear path out. You step backward. Your foot sinks. The Arthropleura turns. Its stalked eyes lift above the front of its armored body. Its antennae sweep the air and ground, weeding vibrations and chemicals you cannot sense. It may not see you as food. It may barely care that you exist. But its body blocks the path, and every moving segment reminds you that this forest belongs to a version of Earth with completely different rules. Then, those rules changed. The Carboniferous wetlands shrank as climates shifted. Tropical forests collapsed across large regions. Drier environments spread. Oxygen levels eventually declined. New land animals diversified, and the conditions supporting giant arthropods became harder to maintain. Arthropleura survived into the early Permian, but it never reached the age of dinosaurs. By the time dinosaurs appeared, this enormous crawler had already been gone for millions of years. What remained were fragments, plates mistaken for plant fossils, isolated body sections, tracks pressed into stone, and rare specimens hidden inside rock. From those pieces, scientists rebuilt one of the strangest extinct animals ever discovered. Arthropleura did not rule by speed. It did not rule with venomous jaws. It ruled through scale, armor, and presence. In the Carboniferous forests, it was a giant among ground animals, moving beneath towering plants, while oxygen-rich air and vast wetlands helped arthropods reach sizes that seem impossible today. And somewhere in those ancient swamps, a branch-shaped form shifted under the leaves. The mud rippled. Dozens of feet touched down in sequence. Before dinosaurs, before birds, before flowers, one of the largest bugs in Earth's history crawled through the darkness, and the forest floor moved with it.